If content creation feels like a constant game of catch up, or worse still, like a scary roller coaster ride you just want to get off, then this episode may give you a new way of looking at your content. Today, I want to show you how you can come up with so many ideas for your content simply by creating one piece of content, reimagining it across the client journey, and sharing it using your existing content ecosystem, all in a way that's aligned with your energy and time. So, yes, you can have a week or really a whole month if you want to worth of meaningful content without burning yourself out or starting from scratch every single time. It's repeatable, it's strategic, and it's a game changer.
Welcome to the Powerful Content Podcast, your go-to source for content creation, strategy, and business inspiration. I'm your host, Mel Daniels, content strategist, coach, and speaker, empowering women across the globe to grow their business with powerful content that connects, nurtures, and converts. So, if you're ready to create standout content that gets you noticed and remembered, or build an aligned audience who love you and are ready to buy from you, you're in the right place. I believe that content has the power to connect us all. It's up to you how you use it. Listen in for genuine and insightful chats with guests, as well as practical tools and strategies from me. It's so lovely to have you here. Let's dive into the show. I acknowledge the Wongal people of the Eora Nation as the traditional custodians of the country that I am recording from today. I recognise their continuing connection to the land and waters. I pay my respects to elders past and present and extend that respect to all First Nation people listening today.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to episode 175 of the Powerful Content Podcast. How are you? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for tuning in this week and allowing me into your ears and your heart. I'm truly grateful to have you in my life. Now, I'm all about easy content, so I wanted to let you into a secret of never running out of things to share. Now, I'm up to episode 175 of this podcast, and I'd say more than half of these episodes have been solo episodes. So I've probably come up with almost 90 episode ideas, and just quietly, I actually do have the rest of the year mapped out as well. So that's a lot of content ideas, but I've always got something to share. And whilst I've dialed back the frequency of the number of times which I post on social media recently, I've always got something to post and I've always got something to email my subscribers. So how do I do this? Well, this is my secret, and the secret I share with anyone who'll listen. And that is start with one piece of core content and go from there. One of the biggest shifts that I see in people who become confident content creators is that they stop trying to create something new for every platform every day and instead start with a core piece of content. Now, a core piece is that meaty piece of content that holds your main message for the week or fortnight, or quite frankly, even month if you only choose to do it monthly. So that could be a podcast episode, a blog post, or a video. I'll also let you have an email, but I don't usually recommend this as it's not searchable and people can't find it and binge it. Anyway, when you lead with this one intentional piece of content, you give your content ecosystem a soul and everything else flows from that. You can easily copy and paste pieces of it, but the power is when you reimagine it. This means asking yourself what feels most powerful about this to share. What part would make a great story? Could this spark a strong opinion or create an invitation? Is there a line or quote that could stand alone? All of these ideas are about reimagining, and this allows you to get creative in a way that really feels aligned with your strengths and your style. So not like you're just ticking a content box. And if you want to know more about reimagination, go back to episode 168 and you can learn more about the ins and outs of reimagination. So instead of asking, what should I post on social media this week? Instead ask, what can I reimagine from my one piece of powerful content that I have created? And if you really want to get streamlined with this, then turn it into a process. Extract the same types of mini bites of content from the meaty piece and store them somewhere until you're ready to use them. You can even use AI to help you with this. It can easily become repeatable and easy to share. So now you have this meaty piece of content and you know what you can extract. Here's where things can get even more strategic. And honestly, it's easier too. So when you think about the job of your content through the lens of that client journey, it is to move your ideal client from not knowing anything about you all the way through to becoming that raving paying client. And it certainly becomes clear what kind of social media posts you need or emails that you need. You're not just creating for the sake of it, you're actually guiding your ideal client through a pathway of your content. So let's just break this down really quickly. The client journey is connect, subscribe, nurture, convert, and onboard. So connect, subscribe, nurture, and convert. It's those first 4 stages where your content is doing the job of leading them on a journey. So in that connect phase, you can create curiosity. So you might ask yourself, what will catch my ideal client's attention and make them feel seen? The subscribe is give them a reason to stick around. So maybe you have a related lead magnet, a quiz, a free training, an upcoming workshop. The next stage is nurture. This is where you go a little bit deeper. So you might share a personal story relating to the theme, a behind the scenes type story, or even go a little bit deeper on how it relates to your beliefs or values. And then convert. So this is where you invite them into your paid offer. So no hard sell is really needed here as your content is doing all the heavy lifting in a week. So let me give you an example. Just say your core content this week is a podcast episode on a week of easy content ideas. Hello. Can you see where I'm going with this? So my connect post might be a bold statement or some sort of notable quote from the podcast, like, you don't need more ideas, you just need to use them better. For subscribe, I might invite you, and I will invite you to my upcoming workshop on a year's worth of content ideas. And hint here, the link is actually in the show notes. For nurture, I might share a photo of how I love to come up with my own mind map of ideas for my podcast. So how I actually use this process that I'm talking about in my own business. And for convert, I could invite you to join the Content Effect, where you can get access to training and ongoing support with your content ideas and implementation. See, with social media, you don't even need to post daily. Even a few posts that intentionally support different stages of the journey can be incredibly powerful. Now, you can use this same concept with your email marketing. So email marketing might cover the subscribe, nurture, and potentially convert stages as well. So your email for the week might simply be a quick story in relation to the theme of your core piece of content. Super easy. Now, you might be thinking, Mel, this sounds amazing, but I don't have the time or energy to be everywhere. And honestly, I'm not asking you to be everywhere. And this is where your content ecosystem and minimum viable content come into play. And to go deeper into these, you can go back to episodes 138 and 167. But your content ecosystem is all the places your content lives. So whether that's Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, your website, podcast, email lists, lead magnets, you're probably already creating more content than you realize. And often different content for different platforms. Imagine if you could streamline this. You just need to connect the dots. And that's really where minimum viable content comes in. So you are asking yourself, what do you love to create? Where is it easy for you to be visible? And what content would move your business forward this week, fortnight, or month? So if you love to write, maybe your core content is a blog. And if you love to talk, it could be a podcast. And if you love visual storytelling, it might be a Facebook Live, it might be YouTube video or a reel. Start there and then choose those 1 to 2 places to reimagine your content based on your current season of life and business. Like I've said in many recent episodes, the time I can spend on my own business and therefore my content has reduced significantly this year. In my current season of content, this means my MVC looks like 1 podcast episode a week, 2 emails a week, but only 3 social media posts and the occasional LinkedIn post Previously, it looked like 7 days a week on socials and at least 3 on LinkedIn. So I really want to remind you, this isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things in a way that honors your capacity. Now, before we wrap up, I'm going to leave you with a few questions, like I always do, to help you integrate and think about how you can approach what we've covered today. You might want to jot them down or perhaps take a moment after this episode to reflect on them. So the first question is, which stage of the client journey do I tend to skip with my content? And how can I consciously include it in my content this week? What, if anything, do I need to let go of in my content ecosystem in order to honor my time, energy, and resources? And what tweaks can I make to my content process that would help me become more efficient and effective? Remember, simple doesn't mean less valuable. When you create with intention and alignment, your content becomes so much more powerful. So there you have it, a week or even a fortnight or month of easy, effective content that starts with just one core content idea. It supports your client journey and then uses the content you already have to produce it for different parts of your content ecosystem. Now, if your brain is buzzing with ideas right now and you're ready to map out content that feels aligned, intentional, and totally doable, then I'd love to invite you to my free live workshop, a year's worth of content ideas. Now, in this session, I'm going to walk you through how to plan 12 months of content with ease, with clarity, using the exact process that I use in my own business and that same process that I use with my clients to create content that connects, nurtures, and converts without having to be online all the time. This isn't just about filling up a content calendar just for the sake of it. It's really about building that purposeful plan that aligns with you, your offers, and your dream clients as well. So this workshop is happening live. You can join me, ask me questions, and get support in real time. You're going to walk away with a bank of content ideas that actually move your business forward and probably more importantly, give you the confidence to create them. And as an added bonus, I'm going to be gifting you a bank of AI prompts to help you amplify those ideas even further. So check the link in the show notes to grab your spot. I would love to see you there. Talk soon.
Thanks so much for listening. That's it for another week. To get more powerful content in your life, make sure you're following along on socials. My handle is @meldbusiness. And just in case you're wondering, the groovy music for this podcast was created by Just Here on SoundCloud. I'd also be super grateful if you took a moment to rate and review this podcast so more amazing women like you can experience the power of content. And if you're like, hell Mel, stop talking, I'm ready to work with you now, here's how we can work some powerful content magic together. Firstly, come and join the Content Effect, my membership inspiring women with service-based businesses to ditch the content chaos and start creating stand-out content that gets you noticed and makes sales. You can join us by using the link in the show notes or just Google the Content Effect. The second way we can work together is via my one-on-one packages. We can create a sustainable content strategy or start to build out your client journey. It's up to you. Hop on over to meldbusinessservices.com.au/services to find out more. Until next time, have a beautiful week and embrace the power of your content.